Hello, everyone, and welcome. I am Gary Godsoe, and welcome to Velocity Online Racing's coverage of Round 5 of Season 5 of the VOR ICONIC Series, coming to you from Legacy Kentucky Speedway for the votive Indy Derby. Joining me in the booth is a regular in the IndyCar Oval Series. Also, we check him out in the ISRA and also in the ERL. He's got a busy schedule. He's joining us right now in the booth. It's Kyle Klendworth. Klendy, welcome back, and we're fresh off a very interesting race at Iowa where we saw a lot of competing strategies and a number of drivers put themselves in a position for a first-time win, and we did get that first-time winner with Daniel Hesse as he catapults to the top of the standings down the championship. But we head back to a racetrack that a lot of these drivers have experience at here at Legacy, Kentucky, as the season continues and we reach just about the halfway point.
Yeah, it'll really shake up the points if we have another Iowa-like race today. If we have a new winner, maybe we'll see someone vault themselves up in the standings yet again, or maybe we'll see someone take a commanding lead of this iconic championship, which seems to have been promoting an allergic reaction from our competitors this season. The points have been topsy-turvy every week between drivers taking time away or just fumbling the bag. So we'll see if somebody wants to lock in that championship or put themselves on the path to glory starting this week at Kentucky.
There you see the weather conditions on your screen. It is not going to be very challenging conditions at all. There is a slightly, not a brisk, but a decent-sized speed wind of about 5 miles per hour coming out of the southwest that these guys might feel a little bit. Other than that, humidity's low, track temperature is low, and the ambient temperature is low. I don't think that will be impacting any of these drivers really today. Here is the driver's points coming into today. And as you see, Daniel Hesse with the lead over Liam O'Sullivan, then Patrick Salvazzi, Jesper Orman, Maddie Sinclair, your top five. Then Pim, then Strauss, then Julian, then Shane, and then Jonas Weber. That is your top 10. As very close, all up and down the top 10, and direct battles still many to go. We are not even to the halfway point or our more exciting biggest races of the year with Indianapolis coming up next. So there's still lots to be decided here in the championship. But Daniel Hesse, first-time leader of the points, coming into this round at Kentucky. Currently, minute 20 left to play here in qualifying. O'Sullivan, Weber, Altena, Strauss, and Ortiz, your top five, as just about everybody in the top 10 solidly in the 213 range, really the top 7 in the 213 range. 213.8 for O'Sullivan.
I think Jesper's going to worst to first yet again. He's been sitting on pit road, biding his time. Not a care in the world.
Maddie on his qualification run catching a little bit of the apron in turns 1 and 2. Time keeping it off the apron in turns 3 and 4, and he will come down, go underneath the yellow line through the apron and in the tri-oval area. And he puts his lap in 13th. And Edson Santos with about less than 30 seconds left in qualifying. He cuts the corner at the tri-oval. And he only clocks in at 13th as well.
And unlike a lot of mile-and-a-half drafting tracks, starting mid-pack isn't going to be such a big advantage today. There's no way you can stretch a tank of fuel to 50 whole laps, which would cut a stop. The pit window today is going to be somewhere between 42 and 48 laps. I don't think it's possible to get those extra 2 laps. And if you were to sacrifice pace to get that kind of economy, I think you'd be well more than 2 seconds a lap off the pace.
All right, let's get in here for today's starting lineup here for the votive Indy Derby from Legacy Kentucky Speedway. And there you see our pole sitter on row 1, Liam O'Sullivan.
Definitely more than 20 horses under that hood. Put down a really good lap here in the Bluegrass State.
At 213.8, Weber right next to him around in row 1, 213.5. Peter Gehermi, he is one of the teammates to Edson Santos. He's there in row 2, right next to Julian Altena. And the number 1 car right behind him is Strauss and Ortiz. In row 3, row 4, Silvazzi and Sanchez. And row 5, we got Pim and Christensen. Dan Inch right next to our points leader. Heshy in row 6. Row 7, Santos and Sinclair. Row 8, we got Marcamini in the Tony Kanaan throwback livery there when he drove for Ganassi. Of course, Kanaan named the team principal of the IndyCar team for McLaren this week. Bonnie in 16th there. And then back in row 9, we got Jean-Luca Wagner and Jesper Orman in the Spirit of Indiana. Rounding out this remainder of this 18-car field.
Starting from the rear hasn't really dissuaded Jesper from finishing well this season. The one gaffe we've seen him commit was at Iowa. Caught a little bit of apron in turn 2. Let's see if he can avoid doing that today and march to the front.
Final thoughts before we go green here at Legacy. What are we expecting for pit stops here and stint-wise here at Legacy, Kentucky?
Yeah, so I think probably the drivers will look to split this into 40-lap segments, maybe a little bit further. 45 would probably be the very edge of the run. But if you can avoid any cautions from cars trying to exit this extremely narrow and extremely slick pit road, that may be to your advantage. So maybe look for some savers early here.
Getting ready to go green for 150 laps, 225 miles here at Kentucky. And Liam not wasting any time. And the first 4, actually a pretty decent jump over the remainder of the field.
Weber's building a run here down the back. He's looking low. Let's see if he fans out inside or outside. No, just falls in line behind Liam. It's clean air going into 3. Christensen in fighter formation. It's Sanchez.
Still too wide, back further in the pack. Christensen giving a lot of leeway to who's he racing there? Rick Sanchez. Now he doesn't know Rick very well. 3 wide behind him with Ortiz, Santos, and Inch. Santos, the meat in that sandwich. He does not want to be there very long. Bad things happen when we go 3 wide for too long, and then they go 3 wide just behind him again.
Yeah, the track is cooling off. It's going to be pretty easy for these cars to fan out and race in a pack like this. So being very delicate with providing space to your competitors is going to be of the utmost importance while the tires are fresh and they can stick the cars wherever they want in the corners.
We're watching this battle from Christensen on back as they're 3 wide for at least 2 rows deep with the middle car there of Marcamini all by himself. We saw Bonnie Inch, and I believe that was Christian Ortiz going 3 wide. Jesper getting a bead on the bottom side of Inch, and and he now goes around him, and also with the purple lap at a 2:15.3. But we are faster in the draft than we were qualifying as we see Jesper now go to the high side. Marcamini spooks out Bonnie twice.
while this dogfight's happening in the back, Weber has gotten around the leaders at the front, and he's brought Guillermo with him. We have like 2 giant snarling packs of cars here. The first 7, and then these last 12. Like just one straggler in the middle. Pim Van Gastel. The pendulum on the island right in the middle right now.
Pim just watching the action unfold in front of him. Today's rule set, we have an extra set of tires granted to each one of these drivers. So 5 sets of cars, 1 in the car, 4 in the pits. Again, 85% fuel. Track length is 1.5 miles, D-shaped oval. 150 laps, 225 race miles, 45 mile per hour pit road speed limit. The career IndyCar leaders here in wins is Buddy Lazier and Sam Hornish. Each have 2 here at Kentucky Speedway, and this track record still held to this day, at least under this older configuration, by Sarah Fisher with a speed of 221.3. IndyCar last raced here back in 2011. These DW12s never raced here. They did not appear on the schedule when they became in the next year. The last year was 2011. That was the last year for the non-DW12 car. Then the DW12 came in the next year. And IndyCar has not returned since 2011. But if you enjoy Velocity Online Racing's coverage of the VOR Iconic Series and respect the stream, please do us a solid. Make sure you support us by subscribing. And while you're at it, don't forget to smash like and click the bell so you don't miss out on future VOR iRacing broadcasts, including tomorrow. Circuit Gilles Villeneuve from Ile de Notre Dame, just outside of Montreal. The IndyCar Championship picks back up at Montreal. Don't miss it tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern. Weber, your leader. O'Sullivan second. Strauss third. Guillermo fourth. And Altina in fifth.
Been working on your French, Gary. That was a pretty good pronunciation of the track we're visiting next week.
Ile de Notre Dame.
Correct. Not too bad.
It's the island of Notre Dame.
Speaking of that island, we now have 3 different packs of cars. Pim has picked up Silvazzi.
Yeah, Pim is... Ooh, Vitor getting close off Julian, causing Pim to go... causing him to go defensive. And then that next group of Santos, Bonnie, Christensen, and Marcamini, they are starting to reel them in a little bit.
And let's give a shout to Alexander Bonnie. He's moved himself up 7 spots on the grid as he looks aggressively here under Edson Santos, diving into turn 3. Miles up the bottom. He'll have a good run and draft down the front stretch here to maybe reel in the front 7.
Going too wide for the lead. Strauss tucking in behind O'Sullivan. Julian with a big run on the high side of Strauss. Move him to third as now Julian joins the top 3. Now Julian's going to go high. Getting clean air on those front wing planes. Let's check out our points leader at the moment. Stuck back in 16th at the rear.
I don't think that bothers Mr. Heshy very much at all. He's very much a thinking man's race car driver. He's probably got a strategy and he's sticking to it. He has no issue coming up to the top 3 at the very end of these races. He's done it time and time again.
And when we've spoken to him before, he's had a team of people working with him on his radio. So Team Brazil, all unified under the banner of Daniel Hesse at the moment.
They're cheering on Team Sweden as Jesper Orman is doing the heavy lifting here to bring that tail pack up to the middle pack. What an amazing display this is. We have like 3 different packs of 7 cars all under a blanket. And the second pack is about to become one big one. Oh, Santos in the side of Bonnie there into 3. I think they're both fine.
Go back and take a look at that. Then we're going to go back a little bit further as we are 3 wide down the backstretch, and Bonnie is way up high, and there's a reason that there was contact made. Bonnie actually came down a little bit into Santos, but Santos had his teammate right next to him, and his teammate Vitor caught the apron a little bit and got a little squirrely, so that made that even more exciting through there. Christensen and Marcamini. So while we were dissecting that incident, another one occurred on the racetrack. Marcamini and Christensen at the start-finish line.
Jesper got very lucky there. Holy smokes.
Oh, wow. And how that missed him, I don't know. But it was bad net code. It's exactly what it was. Here's from Jesper's point of view. Watch this. Watch the contact, the no contact to the inside.
It's like Christensen just gets forced into spinning like a Jedi mind trick.
Whoa.
Almost. I'd expect everyone to pit here, Gary. It allows you to split the race cleanly into 40-lap increments. We have about just under 130 to go. 40 times 3 is 120. So if you can go that 43 laps every time, it should be smooth sailing from here.
Should it be a fuel-saving race now as Weber, O'Sullivan, Altena, Strauss, and Stelvazzi come down pit road. Under caution here at lap 22, now 23 of 150. And going back to that incident that we saw with Bonnie, keep in mind that Edson Santos was racing very near his teammate there, and he wanted to give his teammate a lot of space. That is rule 1 of racing your teammate, is thou shalt not wreck your teammate. And Weber comes out ahead of O'Sullivan, Julian in 3rd, Stelvazzi 4th, Strauss 5th. So we have Weber up there with no teammates, and then we got 2 Altena Autosports cars as well as 2 Team Watson's cars in 4th and 5th. Pim back in 6th. Edson Santos is the lead leaner energy car in 7th. Jesper now working his way up to 8th. Rick Sanchez in 9th, and Vitor in the 2nd leaner energy car in 10th. Jesper up 10 spots to nobody's surprise. And, well, interesting enough, looks like the Leaner Energy squad coming back down pit road for top-offs. They think it's going to turn into a fuel mileage race.
It could be that they want to be able to lead packs if they have to. And just that little extra splash is a little bit of insurance that will let them not have to worry about, having to stay behind someone else.
Santos having trouble getting on his marks on pit road. And he gets topped off. Vitor down and away. He gets topped off. They'll rejoin the field. Tail end. Lights out on the pace car. We're going to go green this time by...
Yeah, I think the 43 lap number they have to make shouldn't be too difficult. So I think it's just a little bit of extra security, or maybe, to avoid being the first cars on pit road because the pit in and pit out here is so difficult.
Coming to green. We want to thank the guys at the Votive Racing League for sponsoring today's race. Also, don't forget Alexander Bonney and the guys at IFS Personal Financial Planning, title sponsor here of the VOR Iconic Series. Back, green flag underway here. Lap 25 of 150. Very early stages here. Just outside of Cincinnati. Sanchez getting around Orman for a spot. Orman getting that spot back. Bonnie going to go 3 wide. Now 2 wide in the 1. Bonnie will have a big head of steam up high, but with fresh tires, the bottom line is still the best line right now.
Strauss, Silvazzi, and Van Gastel at the front of, or the end of the front pack. If they can work together here without fanning out too wide, they may be able to leave that second pack in the dust. The second pack is almost out of draft. I mean, they are out of the draft range in this car. So if they all stay tucked in together single file and minimize their draft envelope and maximize their lap time, they could make it such that the top 6 here are separated from the rest of the field.
Yeah, you would think a car with this many winglets on it and as wide as it is at the end, at the back end of it, would punch a big hole in the air. And in reality, it did. But in this sim, it doesn't. It only punches a hole in the air. The draft envelope of these cars may be a second. Nothing like a second and a half that the IR18, which is effectively these cars with another Aero Kit on them, they go back a second and a half. But these cars are lucky to reach 1 second in terms of a draft envelope. So you need to stay really close to the car in front of you if you hope to stay with its draft and its pace.
I wonder, I'd love to know the inside baseball, like a look behind the curtain there to know if iRacing had bad wind tunnel data from the team that gave them the chassis, or if they got it directly from Dallara, or if they modeled it themselves and it was just a little bit off. Because, you know, like a margin of error of 10%, you know, pretty reasonable. You get a 90% on a test, you feel like you did a pretty good job.
Weber and Julian getting tight down the backstretch going into 3. Now we're 3 wide for second spot as Strauss now shoots to the top, and he goes to the point. But Julian had to go way high, and also involved in that battle was his teammate. Again, not wanting to get tied up with his teammate, trying to give as much room as possible, and Julian was up into the gray and the wall in turns 3 and 4. Yeah, I agree with what you said there, and the problem is that this is a legacy car, so no more work is going to
update it.
They're never going to update. They could if they wanted to, really. I don't know if there's enough use of this car on the service to do stuff like that. They have done little things to this car. I think they've updated the damage model once. They've updated the tire model once here recently, but. Yeah, for us to ask them to extend the draft window or the draft envelope on these cars is asking an awful lot. Now, if it was NASCAR, they'd 100% do it.
I mean, they're totally rebuilding the NASCAR car from 2004, right? Which is 7 years older than this chassis. So, I mean, it just has to do with what makes the money for iRacing, right? You look at those NASCAR, like look at Strauss here. He's making an aggressive move to the tri-oval, looking like one of those Gen 4 NASCAR drivers.
And let's go back to 5th and 6th. Pim, actually 6th and 7th. Sanchez, Bonnie, Orman, this whole group, they're getting dicey back there.
Notice what Jesper's doing. He's charging hard on corner entry and then checking up in the middle of the corner to make sure he can keep his preferred line on the bottom. Almost applying the new Kentucky approach to the legacy Kentucky layout.
Riding with Jesper right now.
I wonder if Edson Santos knows something I don't. He's definitely playing some sort of fuel mileage game here. He's just happy as a clam, chilling at the back of the pack. Everything in front of him, except for Mr. Ortiz.
Well, and Heshy's there too. And again, you talked about he's very cerebral.
Yeah, but they're on different sides of the coin, right? Santos was running up 6th or 7th at the front of this second pack before that yellow, and has decided he doesn't want to be there anymore. Hugo Gala's checking in the chat. He's watching the race from the beach. Toes in the sand, drink in his hand. What a way to spend a Friday afternoon.
You kill me, Hugo. You kill me. As I stare out my window of the snow and bare trees here of central Indiana. Although we do have nice blue skies and sun outside, but nothing like dipping the toes with a nice... some type of fruity drink of some sort in your hand.
And our packs have merged.
Yeah, we have merged. Voltron has formed on the racetrack. Bonnie fastest that time by with the purple lap, 2:15.8.
Yeah, he has got something for these boys today. He wants to show, hey, the Votive Racing League may have sponsored this race, but I sponsor this series, right? So... a little bit of extra skin in the game for him.
And he has a family member that did decently at this track. We're not going to name any names, not going to name any positions. But they did all right historically at this track. So, and he is now racing Liam O'Sullivan for 3rd on the high side. And we're just one big old pack all the way back to 15th. I guess if you're Santos and Heshy, if you're back there and you see all that action up in front of you, there's really no reason to panic, especially at lap 42, now 43 of 150. I mean, we still have more than 100 laps to go. As long as you can see the leaders, I would say you're in good shape. Bonnie, it might be a scheduled stop, and there's contact on pit road on the entrance. And that is Vitor Guilherme. And we are caution.
Bonnie clearly said he was going to the pit road. He called it out in chat, and Vitor just came in probably 20% faster than he should have. The yellow there was well needed for Bonnie. His rear wing got knocked off, but I don't know if he has...
Now, Heshy's on pit road. We're watching him as he kind of is weaving. I don't know if maybe...
Heshy got ran over reacting by the other leaner car, by Santos. So Santos kills Heshy, or not kills, but, runs over, while Guilherme runs over Bonnie. Just double leaner combat here.
Yeah, Heshy has to check up a little bit because Bonnie comes back up and Edson kind of no place to go and then the back end of it and then runs over the front of him.
What a terrible turn of events for Alexander Bonnie, who's running so well. And
well,
Daniel
and
Heshy, his mixture flans weren't even unfolded yet.
Yeah, and our points leader who looks like he might be out.
I'm telling you, Gary, having the points lead in this league seems to spur on some sort of allergic reaction to our competitors.
Inch and Ortiz are going to stay out, but Weber and the whole rest of the field come to pit road. And yeah, I think you're right. It's there must be some some curse to being the points leader this season here of this series. And move Orman, big move for him coming to pit road and coming off of pit road. He's now 4th.
I wonder if it's possible that he took fuel only. It looks like he did not go on the jacks.
He went 5.6 seconds in the box, so at a very efficient stop. I guess the tire dag out there is not as bad as we thought. I mean, if they're opting to pass on the tires, and that leaves him an extra set here later in the race when he might need them.
Maybe I just choose to pass on them again if that was his strategy. The Lightning McQueen strat. As we come to 1 to green here, Gary, I just want to shout out again the Votive Racing League. I know they're the title sponsor of this race at Kentucky. Shane wants to make it the crown jewel event for the Votive Racing League when we go there on Sunday nights. That'll be in a few weeks' time, but he'll run the green walls on the new Kentucky track for the green motif of the series. So if you're interested in joining, go ahead and hit me up or hit Shane up and join our Discord. It's free to join. We race Sunday nights Eastern time at 8:30 p.m. And honestly, I've had a blast in all of the events and practices he puts on. He's a really good league coordinator, on par, or maybe not quite yet on par with Julian. Julian's got a lot of tenure here in the Velocity Online Racing Series. But Shane puts his heart and soul into the league every week, and it definitely shows. Anybody's welcome. Just feel free to sign up. It's free to do so.
And there should be a link to the Discord in the description. If not, you could go ahead and, Clendy, put a link in chat for everybody to see to their Discord if you can learn more. Coming to green flag this time by, it's Inch and Ortiz. You guys, we normally don't see at the front, but they're getting some lead time, TV time here in the Iconic Series. Back green flag. It is Inch, Ortiz, Weber, Orman, Strauss, your top 5 as we're back underway. Big run off the high side there for Ortiz, keeping Weber at bay. Strauss, O'Sullivan, and Jesper kind of separating themselves from that battle now because they're battling. They're on their own battle. That's what I mean. And Jean-Luc Wagner, he is back there at 8. He's up 9 spots. He started in the rears of the field. Here comes Ortiz to the high side of Inch, trying to get the lead. Inch going to hold the bottom line. And
what
again,
a change of scenery for Christian Ortiz. He was hanging out back, very tail end of the field, and now he's racing side by side for the lead.
I believe he's in that livery. Is that the livery that Juan Montoya won the Indy 500 in? And he getting really close to Inch there in corner entry.
You were there in person, Gary. I'd assume you would know.
Actually, that was one race that I was listening to on the radio as we were coming back from we had to make a trip up to the Chicago area, and we were listening to that on the radio. But I do remember, I think that is the livery that Juan Montoya had. Juan had to come all the way back from 33rd in the lineup. He got early damage. They had to replace the rear pods, those rear pods you see that protect the back wheels. They had to replace that on his car. And here comes Liam, as Ortiz is not really holding his line. He's got to hold his line now, especially when you get 3 cars in the neighborhood. You got to hold your line. Liam trying to give him a lot of room. Oh, and wow.
Ooh, boy. Weber almost got his nose chopped off.
Yeah. You got to watch yourself. In the meantime, this is allowing Inch just kind of scoot away a little bit. Yeah, but now he's got Liam with him. Now these guys are coming up to Ortiz, and I will admit, though, when you make drastic moves like that, it will cause guys moments of pause when they get up to you, it's like, well, how do I attack this guy? Is he going to, all of a sudden, as I get up to him, going to jerk the wheel down on me and cut across my nose? In the case of Weber, or is he going to come up and door bang me on the side? And you always got to be cognizant the whole time of netcode.
Yeah, hopefully he's getting the experience he needs to feel more comfortable in these situations. That's kind of why the Iconic Series exists, so drivers can have an on-ramp or a path to getting to the IndyCar Series on Saturdays.
Everybody needs a place to start, and this is a good one here in the VOR Iconic Series. If you want to be a part of it, just join the Velocity Online Racing Discord server. You can learn more about it there. It's a free series to sign up for. The car is part of your base subscription package in iRacing, so all you need is the tracks and the desire to race in order to participate in this series.
While we were watching Ortiz, O'Sullivan was able to undercut Ench on the exit of 2 a couple laps ago, and now he and Strauss are deliberating
brought Strauss with,
together. Yeah.
So Inch 33 laps into his stint. Everyone else 11 laps into their stint. So Inch should be coming to pit road. We think you said like right around 40, 45, somewhere in there. So maybe 45, 50 on his total stint length for him because of the caution that we had.
I'm seeing him have headed on lap 23. Yeah, 30 lap old tires, about 10 more laps. Of course, leading is bad for the fuel number, so it might be sooner than that.
Sanchez to the inside of Weber. Oh, and there was contact. There was contact there, and one of the leader cars, I think that was VOR, was on the outside, not giving a lot of room, and that's where the contact occurs. So does Weber have a damaged front wing? I think
they hit side to side.
Okay.
If anything, it'd be an ad blocker is damaged for Weber, but I think his car is fine. I think that was no harm, no foul.
So all is forgiven by iRacing, of course. But up and down this lineup, it's a bit of a different look. 3 wide coming off the corner. It's Weber, Sinclair, and VOR. But a different look in this lineup, up and down. Names that we're used to seeing at the top, but names that we're not used to seeing at the top. They're hanging out in the top 5. Silvazzi now enters the top 3. There he is in that pink and purple drip car. I'll give the Team Watson Racing cars all the credit. They are hard to miss on the grid.
They look pretty good. I tried my hand and I painted Jesper's Pride of Indiana scheme today, but it doesn't hold a candle. It's serviceable, but it's not excellent. Like those are.
There's only 2 Spirits of Indianas out there. One, it's that car right there that he's driving, and Jesper Orman. The other one's a stealth bomber. And there goes Liam O'Sullivan underneath Strauss as they're really working together to kind of pull away. And they are really achieving that feat right now as they are working together down the front stretch in the 1. Look at that gap, 1.6 back to Silvazzi.
I think Jesper sees it. I think he's going to try to start swapping with Silvazzi here, just like they are at the front.
Now, also involved here is Pim. And does Pim know that? Or is Pim just going to be a thorn in the side? Is he going to cooperate to try to run down that group? I would imagine that he would want to, but he is going to go to the front of this pack and bringing Silvazzi with. So not a lot of organization out of these 3 as they need to really run down the leaders. The leaders are now 2 seconds ahead.
I think they're executing 3-car swaps pretty well.
Oh!
And honestly, I think a 3-car swap can be much faster than a 2-car swap, as Pim Van Gassel almost hits Silvazzi on exit.
I don't know. There's a lot of coordination that needs to happen there that you need to get on radios for and everything. And 3 different drivers on 3 different teams, surely not in the same radio channels other than the main voice chat that everyone's in for the race.
Yeah, and they've been pretty silent here as they negotiate 3rd place.
And this group is Orman, Silvazzi, Pim and Inch, Santos, Sinclair, Sanchez, and Vitor. As Inch, I think, is coming to pit road. Scheduled stop as he's coming down the road. Pit access road. That is the rules here for the rule set here at the racetrack. And this is a scheduled stop for Dan Inch. And this will really get him close to... it should get him into the lap 100 area.
Yeah, he'll want to make it to like 107, 108 to make it all the way home.
And we'll see if Ortiz is going to make the turn down pit road. I think Ortiz is on pit road. There he is, and he's at a long stop. Maybe he got caught for speeding. I think got caught for speeding.
Happens to the best of us, Gary.
Yes, it does.
Now, I always love calling these VOR iconic races with you, but I do have a personal matter that has come up. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to leave the booth today. But as always, Gary, thank you so much for having me here in calling the show and the action. Thanks so much for everyone tuning in to watch this votive series sponsored race for VOR. And I will catch you tomorrow at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve.
You got it. Take care. That is Kyle Klendworth punching out early today. We are now at lap 71 of 150. Dan Inch on a slightly different pit schedule than everyone else. He's got one more stop to do. So does everybody else, at least here. 27 laps into their run for the entire field, down to P11, which is Jonas Weber. Again, not sure if Weber is sporting some damage. He is not in the same pack as the cars in front of him right now. So I don't know how his situation is. Turning at 24.9, while everyone else, he's roughly the same speed. Ooh, Julian getting close to the corner exit there. Well, we'll see. Maybe he's got a strategy in mind. Meanwhile, up front, Liam O'Sullivan and Strauss, your leader by 2.3 seconds. The VOR Iconic Series is brought to you by IFS Personal Financial Planning. IFS Personal Financial Planning specializes in helping their clients make the most out of their savings with holistic financial planning that is tailored to their specific needs over the course of their lifetimes. On average, they've been working with their clients for over 20 years, helping them navigate the complexities of investments, the uncertainties of markets, and the ever-changing legislative landscape. To learn more, you want to contact Alexander Bonney, who was having a pretty good race here until the incident on pit road. Or coming to pit road at alex@ifspfp.com. Again, it's alex@ifspfp.com. And that link should be in the description. You can check it out there to learn more. IFS Personal Financial Planning. Today's Kentucky race is brought to you by the Votive Racing League. If you're looking for some fun and competition to add to your Sunday nights, the Votive Racing League has you covered. Votive has their sights set on 2 goals: to build a strong community that enjoys racing and to be a melting pot of different skill levels and backgrounds. It doesn't matter if you're an IndyCar, stock car, F1, or sprint car fan. Votive wants to see you join, compete, hang out, and most importantly, have fun. If you want good, clean, close wheel-to-wheel racing, then look no further than the Votive Racing League. To learn more, join their Discord server Link should be in the description. You'll probably get one in chat as well. In fact, I think Shane's in chat. If you'd like to put a link to your Discord server, go ahead. But back up front, we got two little packs. We got O'Sullivan and Strauss. And then we have a little bit further back, Santos now is snuck up with Salvazzi, and they're starting to pull away by a second over the next group led by Sinclair. And Sinclair is there with Vitor, also Pim, and Wagner is also there. Julian back in ninth, just hanging out in the back. We're at the 80-lap mark. Past halfway. Pit stops coming up here soon. 35 laps for all the leaders of this stint. We'll be seeing them come to green flag pit stops probably in the next 10 laps or so. Certainly these leaders might be using a little bit more than those behind. Checking chat here. Hugo says he's sorry to me. I don't think you're really that sorry, Hugo. And Daniel Heshy actually says he's out. So that is unfortunate. Sanchez grabbing a little bit of the apron there in the battle with Julian. That was one of the closest on the racetrack. That's why we were watching it. Here comes Weber. Oh, Weber slides up into Sanchez. Contact. Allows Julian to kind of pull away a little bit. Vitor now running with... we got Matty Sinclair here, and they're trying to run down the group in front of him, which includes Vitor's teammate, Edson Santos, former series champion. And they're going to catch that group here soon. And that is Patrick Salvazzi coming to pit road. Scheduled stop here. 40 laps into the run. And look at him work this entry road really quick. Leaders coming to pit road as well. As he had to take a little evasive action. I think they might have about locked up. Weber and, O'Sullivan and Strauss on pit road. Scheduled stop also at lap 40. We will watch O'Sullivan go up on the jacks, new set of tires, full tank of fuel. And Strauss goes around them. Sullivan, a 40-second hold. I think we have a black flag. Strauss is now going to break away, and he's going to have his teammate, the next available car, with him. But there, he almost smacks. I might have smacked the inside wall coming off of pit road. Very narrow pit exit here at Legacy, Kentucky. He seems to be okay. But we will see when these pit stops occur. Strauss now getting around Santos and Sinclair. Jonas Weber on pit road. Vitor on pit road. Julian on pit road. And Strauss cycles to the point. Almost about 2 seconds over Santos. Santos leading that second group. That is all snarled up at the moment. It's Sinclair, Santos, Orman, Pim, and Silvazzi all in this group. And they might as well be, if they're a second and an 8/10 behind Strauss right now, they might as well be 2 laps behind. That's as big as a gap as we've seen in a very long time in these cars at this size speedway. So let's see, Strauss pitted at 86. So let's break open the handy dandy calculator here. He went 86 and he went 41 laps. Now the problem is he's by himself. He doesn't have a soul helping him. If he could do 41, he gets to 127 for his final stop. But I don't know if he could do 41 being in clean air by himself, as the leaders now cut the lead by about 3/10 now to 1.5 seconds. Let's ride with Patrick Silvazzi as he takes the point now and tries to help run down his teammate. Very smooth through 1 and 2. There goes Sinclair to the inside. Again, the Robbie Gordon cam. Whoa. And one thing that you don't notice on these cars a lot, but right here, the LED boards that these things used to carry, they would be very helpful with a whole host of information that they would show on the side of these cars. Right now, they show what position they're in, as Strauss has caught a lapped car. They would also, on road courses, show when they were using push to pass. And they would also show on pit road the time they spent with their pit stop. And I don't think that level of detail is in the game. I think it just shows what position they run. Strauss getting around Ortiz, who unfortunately, I believe, had a hold on pit road. But he is around him now, and he now leads by 1.2 seconds over Silvazzi. The driver inputs there off the screen. Currently, we still have 14 cars still out there turning laps. 11 cars on the lead lap. Julian, the last car on the lead lap at 11th. There's Pim and Jesper. Silvazzi to the inside of one of the leader energy cars. That is Santos. As they have Christian Ortiz in front of him for a little bit of lap traffic. A little drafting help there for one of those drivers. Actually, Christian gets out of the way. Christian back in 14th, 4 laps down. Only car 4 laps down at the moment. .101 of 150. We're past the 100 lap mark. 50 laps to go here. Expecting final stops here. Sometime inside of the next 30 laps. Inside of the next 30 laps for final stops. That's when we're expecting. Unless there's a caution between now and then. And some of these racing that we're seeing going on here is getting very close. We might see a caution get kicked off. Orman and Pam Gastel back here in 4th and 5th. They're trying to work together to run down the group in front of them. Strauss is just about caught by this second group. Second group is Strauss, Silvazzi, Santos, and Sinclair. And they are there. Be sure to join us tomorrow afternoon, 3 p.m. Eastern, for the IndyCar Championship here for VOR, for Velocity Online Racing, as we visit Montreal. While we watch this battle develop, here is the remaining schedule for the Iconic Series. Legacy, Kentucky today. Then we go to our biggest race of the year at Indianapolis for round 6. We reach the halfway point. Then Kansas, proper Phoenix, Auto Club, Homestead, and Chicagoland to wrap up the season in early May. And here is the IndyCar, the IndyCar Championship schedule. Second road course of the season at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve and the Ile de Notre Dame. There, just outside of Montreal. And then we go to Indianapolis for a full 500-mile race for our biggest race of the year in the IndyCar Championship. Then Nashville. Then the third of 3 road courses of the season at Long Beach. Then Homestead. Then Auto Club Speedway to wrap up the season with another 500-miler. The leader has been caught, and Silvazzi now goes to the point. And we got 2 Team Watson cars, followed by Matty Sinclair and the Leaner Energy entry of Edson Santos, former series champion. Strauss, former winner here in the series, as he cuts across the nose of Sinclair. Sinclair, the big run, almost got the nose chopped off. Strauss with a win at Gateway a couple seasons ago. I think Strauss's win actually, I think, was in the IndyCar series. But proven winner, if anytime you can win at any one of the series here in VOR. And the only driver in this group right here that has any previous wins in the series is Edson Santos. And he is a former defending series champion. Patrick, who is our leader, has 25 career starts here in the series. 12 top fives, 19 top tens, but no wins. Strauss, 7 top fives, 12 top tens, no wins. And 19 starts. Matty joining the picture here. He's in his 11th career start here in the series. Was looking good for a very good finish at Iowa. 3 top fives, 6 top tens in league history. And, of course, Edson Santos, former series champion. He has 3 wins and 15 career starts, 9 top fives, 10 top tens. And here he is stalking a group of 3 that have not cracked victory lane yet here in the Iconic Series. Lap 115, now 116 of 150. Let's go back a little bit further in the field. Julian all by himself in 8th. There we see Gianluca. He is in 7th in a battle with Jonas Weber in 6th. Vitor all by himself in 5th now. Let's get you intervals between positions, gaps between positions. There you go. So Vitor 4 seconds behind Santos, his teammate. Then 2 seconds back is Weber. And then 5 seconds back is Altena. So big separations now for a lot of these drivers. Don't know what's going on in terms of strategy. But this top 4, I think these top 4 are really putting themselves in a position where they're going to decide it amongst themselves. If they don't end up bringing out a caution, racing hard one another too hard, that's what I meant, then they can. They're going to be the ones that are going to decide this race here in about 30 laps from now. 33 laps into their stint for a lot of these drivers. Silvazzi 33, Strauss 33, Sinclair 32, Santos 32, Vitor 31, Jonas Weber 31. And Santos coming to pit road just as we join the in-car cam at lap 120, coming to 121. Final stop, get down to the limit, get down. He does, but whoa, a little squirrely there. He hit pit road really hard. You have to do that if he hopes to break out and maybe get a bit of an overcut or something here. But here he comes, coming to his stall last time, needs to hit the marks. And he does. Slides it in. Up on the jacks. New set of tires and just enough fuel to get to the end. Down and away. And look how narrow this pit exit is. And he's back on the racetrack, right behind Julian. In the box for 8 seconds, Santos was. And he comes back out in 8th. Meanwhile, up front, Strauss and Silvazzi continue to swap the lead. Sinclair is there. A very interested party, but I think right now he is just in line saving fuel. Doesn't seem to be pushing the issue. And now here comes the duo, the Team Watson duo. Careful, coming to pit road. Just can't run up on the guy in front of you like that. And also, Silvazzi can't get to the grass. Cars don't handle very well as they both get to the line. Wow, that was really close. They're trying to give each other a lot of room, but they're trying to hit that line as hard as possible because they know Santos had a very good stop on pit road. Here they come down to their stalls. They need to hit their marks. They cannot slide through. I think they both hit them up, and they both go up on the jacks at the same time, so they're both going to come down. Here comes Sinclair behind them. That's going to be his final stop. And Silvazzi, Strauss getting a hold. Strauss speeding on pit road. Silvazzi is the lone survivor of that two. Sinclair coming to pit road up on the jacks. He's down and away. Final stop complete. Liam O'Sullivan coming to pit road. Final stop. And here comes Weber. Here comes Jean-Luca Wagner. And they get down to the limit before the cones. As they are on the button, there is a speed limiter that these drivers hit a button on the steering wheel. Doesn't let the car exceed a certain mile per hour, but you can still get caught for speeding on pit road, especially if you don't engage that button in time. Julian on pit road just behind him. Final stop. Weber coming to service for his final stop. Wagner is rolling out. He will join Weber, but the winner out of this pit exchange is Matty Sinclair. He is your leader now. As Santos tries to run him down, here comes Patrick Silvazzi. And now Santos to the front. Silvazzi's going to follow him on through. Each one of these drivers, no teammate help up front now. They're on their own. .22 now, 21 to go. Once again, if you're just joining us, you are watching Velocity Online Racing's coverage of round 5 of 11 of the VOR Iconic Series, coming to you from Legacy Kentucky Speedway. For the Vote of Indy Derby, we're currently Patrick Silvazzi, Edson Santos, and Matty Sinclair are swapping the lead at the top 3 at the front of the order right now with 20 laps to go. Make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on the next race. This group is going to decide it unless we have a late caution. Here we see Vitor and Jonas. They're working together in 5th and 6th. They're trying to run down Jesper, who is quite a ways in front of them, as a matter of fact. I think they're about 2 seconds behind. Jesper's 5 seconds, about 4.5 actually now, of the leaders. I don't know if he needs a caution. He is not going to catch that battle by himself. And once again, if you like what you see and like to be a part of future races of the VOR Iconic Series, click on the VOR Discord invite in the description to sign up or to learn more today. The car is free. It's part of your base iRacing package. Joining the league is free. All you need is a desire and the tracks on the schedule to participate. That is it. So if you think you got what it takes to race with the VOR Iconic Series drivers, we encourage you to sign up today. All you need is in the description. And one more time, we would like to thank the Votive Racing League for sponsoring today's race. If you're looking for some fun and competition to add to your Sunday nights, the Votive Racing League has you covered. Votive has their sights set on 2 goals: to build a strong community that enjoys racing and to be a melting pot for different skill levels and backgrounds. It doesn't matter if you're an IndyCar, stock car, F1, or sprint car fan. Votive wants to see you join, compete, hang out, and most importantly, have fun. If you want good, clean, and close wheel-to-wheel racing, then look no further than the Votive Racing League. To learn more, join their Discord server. I think a link is in the description. If not, their admin is in the chat. He could throw you a link to their Discord server there in the chat. And you could find the Votive Racing League racing over on the P1 channel on Sundays at 8 p.m. This week they will be at Phoenix. The next race for the Iconic Series is Indianapolis, March 7th. Biggest race of the year for this series. That will be Friday, March 7th, 4 p.m. Eastern. You won't want to miss that. Next VOR iRacing race is tomorrow. It's the VOR IndyCar Championship at Montreal, 3 p.m. Eastern, right here on the Velocity Online Racing channel on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe, ring the bell, so you know when we go live for the next race. You'll get reminders. Up at the front, it is Salvazzi, Santos, Sinclair. They're going to decide this amongst themselves. If we do not get a caution to close this thing out, 11 to go. It is Salvazzi, Santos, Sinclair. The only driver with wins here in the DW12 series, or the Iconic Series, is Santos. Now, Salvazzi has 2 wins in the IndyCar Championship, but both on road courses. So he's looking for an oval win here in the series. Santos cutting down between himself and, cutting down between Salvazzi and Sinclair. Santos started the week with a P2 in the Votive Racing League in the Indy Oval Series at Michigan. He was racing Treston Fortin there to the checkered flag on the last lap. A little bit of contact between the 2 drivers. They both made it to the finish, but the contact allowed Treston to get the win and caused Edson to check up a little bit. Check that out over on the P1 channel if you want to watch something else later today. Salvazzi swaps over, switches down to the low side of the racetrack, trying to get the lead here at the line. And at some point, I'm wondering who is going to get on the yellow line and stay there for the rest of this race. Eight to go. Santos, Salvazzi, Sinclair. Then we got Orman, Vitor, Weber, Pim Van Gastel, Altena, Wagner, and Inch, your top 10, as this field is spread out through this entire racetrack at the moment. But the battle that we're watching is going to be this battle for the win between these 3. 7 to go, coming 6 to go. And at some point, who is going to go to the bottom and protect it? And I think Salvazzi thinking still not early enough to do that. He's maybe playing with runs to see if he can get a draft run. Not that time at the line. Santos just nipped him. Santos crosses over, gets underneath him again. Coming to 4 to go as Salvazzi crosses over now. Getting a run down the front straight. Sinclair in the 3rd spot. Trying to I guess bide his time, needs to pick a partner now and follow him and try to get back up into this battle. It's starting to get a little distance between himself and the lead two. At least not in passing contention right now, but certainly riding it out in third spot. He'd be looking at a career best finish, even a third. And Santos Silvazzi still at the top. 3 to go. Santos now to the bottom. Coming to 2 to go at the line. Two to go. Santos staying on the bottom this time. And he's protecting the inside this time. Here comes Silvazzi side by side. We're coming to the white flag. Last lap here for the Vote of Indy Derby. White flag in the air. 1.5 miles to go here. And Silvazzi wanted to cross over, but wasn't going to happen, and he's going to lose a little bit of momentum as we got Dan Inch slow on the apron. Here comes Santos to the inside. Now Matty Sinclair to the outside. Matty's going to stick it. It's going to come down to Santos and Sinclair. Here comes Silvazzi now. He's a part of this. Sinclair to the top, but I believe it's going to be Santos. Win number 4. As fireworks in the background. Win number 4 for Edson Santos. Matty Sinclair, second. Silvazzi in third. There you see Santos by 0.023 of a second. And then Silvazzi back there, 0.058 of a second as we went 3 wide across the start-finish line for the win. Santos your winner, Sinclair second, his best finish ever here in the Iconic Series. And Silvazzi in third. That is another podium for him here in this series. But one of these days, he's going to get that oval win. Jesper Orman very quietly up 14 spots to P4. Jeremy back in 5th. Pim Van Gastel 6th. Altena in 7th. Wagner in 8th. Weber 9th. And O'Sullivan in 10th. Your top 15 is Sanchez, Strauss, Inch, Ortiz, Hesche, and then Bonnie Christensen and Marcamini round out the remainder of this 18-car field. All right. And we will check out the interview room here. And and see what these top three have to say. Let's go ahead and bring up Patrick first. And here is Patrick Savazzi finishing third here today on the oval. I keep saying you're going to get that first oval win here soon, but not today. But let's talk about that last lap. I think you wanted to cut down rather close to the backside of Santos's car and maybe try to get underneath him down the backstretch. And it looked like when you decided to come down, that part of Santos was there or was going to be really close, and you thought better against it and hesitated a little bit. That left the door open for Sinclair to get the second spot. Is that what happened going into turn one there?
Actually, no. Basically, what happened is that Ange ran out of fuel, and he stayed on the bottom, and he didn't go under the apron. He basically stayed on the bottom of the racetrack, and I couldn't use that line, and I didn't have the run and everything. I just say I'm really pissed about it because I really had that in the bag, but obviously something had to happen. And yeah, I'm really pissed about it, but nevertheless, this was one of the best races I've ever done in VOR. So, and I'm here for a really long time now, and I don't know when was the last time I enjoyed the race so much. So this is basically the top 5 race I've ever done here. So.
Yeah, you definitely. Yeah, I mean, I was saying, I always say in the race with you, we always know you have the pace to start up front, and then something always happens during the race to you, whether you got caught up in an incident or somebody, something happens. But today, I mean, it seemed like everything was happening to people around you, especially on pit road. They get caught for speeding, and you're kind of like the sole survivor out of that. It's you and Maddie and Edson were kind of the sole survivors of making the least amount of mistakes out there. I mean, a little upset at not getting the win, but a little bit of enjoyment after at least on how well you performed all race long.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I mean, third consecutive podium here, so that's something, I guess. So, yeah. But I need to start collect not only third places, to be honest, because yeah, I can't finish third forever. So
well, they are going to podiums breed podiums, and then podiums breed wins, and you're going to get a win here on an oval. I'm sure of it. I'm waiting for the points to be updated, but this is I think your 27th career start here in the Iconic Series, and now 14 top 5s and 21 top 10s. So, I mean, overall, when you get to the finish, you do pretty well here. Shout outs, friends, family, sponsors, anyone who wants to say hi to for putting together a really good race.
Actually, the points got updated, and I'm tied on points with Maddie. So
good. All right, let's check out the points.
So yeah, thanks everyone. Matthias said we really worked together in the penultimate stint to make it work, but yeah, he got speeding and yeah, he didn't made it back, and I somehow lost time in the pits as always. Like I missed my pit stall I think twice as always. The second time it was on the green, so yeah, but at least we made it out. And actually, I have another thing. Under the first caution, I was pretty dumb enough to not take tires because I thought that my tires were fine and everything. And basically that explains why I went down the order. And basically the caution came in a really good time. So yeah, and then I was able to cut through myself to the field, and yeah. Anyways, whatever, it's fine. I will try. Keep grinding. I don't know. That's what I can say.
Well, yeah, you're right with the points. The points have been updated. It is Maddie and you are tied now for the lead of the points. Jesper is in third, Liam's fourth, and Daniel Hesche goes from the lead all the way down the fifth after his early out here today. So we were talking about in the pre-race and during the race how everyone's kind of allergic to wanting to be in the lead because something happens. So we're hoping that not happens upon you going to Indianapolis next. But man, good news is at the midway point of the season, you're tied for the points lead.
Yeah, it would have been nicer if I would have been so leading in points, but it's okay. I don't know what to expect about Indy. Like, it's always a lottery with this car for me because I tend to do well, and then there's something
Yep.
happens. So yeah, it's fine. But I'm actually, to be honest, I'm actually more looking forward to Kansas because I like the place. So
Well, just stay in
we will see.
contention. Just stay in contention until then, and maybe you can capitalize in Kansas. But as much as you're disappointed on not getting the win today, a good P3 is good enough to get you, catapult you into the points lead, at least a tie for it, going into our biggest race of the season, Indianapolis. Congratulations, and go enjoy this podium. I think
Yeah,
as the
thank
season
you.
goes by, you'll probably enjoy it more and more.
Yeah, thank you so much. Have a good one.
Take care. All right, and that is Patrick Salvazzi, and we'll bring up Maddie now. As boy, I wish Kyle was here because Kyle's going to be very happy with Maddie's performance, and we will bring Maddie up right now. Congrats, Maddie, on the P2 right there. It looked like there was a little bit of a extra traffic going into turn one. It allowed you to sneak in to get go from third to second, and then challenge for the win coming to the checkered flag. And I really wish Klendy was here because I know you and he have worked together on coaching and everything, and he would have probably been yelling into the microphone as you were on the verge of a possible win there. But getting the P2 today, and I believe this is your first podium this season. You've been close a number of times, but by your consistency now, you're the points leader, tied for the points going to Indianapolis after your P2 today. So I would imagine, oh, so close on the win, but all in all, you got to be pretty happy.
Yeah, I'll take it. Going to the slow car, I definitely, I knew what I was going to do on the last lap. I knew that through that whole last run, my first job was to keep Jesper from catching us from behind. And that was all I was ever going to do. And then I was going to shoot my shot on the white flag and see what happened. When I heard that someone was low, I went, okay, I'm going to risk it for a biscuit here. I'm going to do as close a pass as I dare and pray to the netcode gods. And the netcode gods were in my favor. And then Edson did a really good job positioning his car. And as soon as he did that, I went, okay, it's P2.
Well, you've definitely, we've been watching you in these cars as your racecraft and your performance has been getting better and better and better. Do you now feel like you got what it takes to get a win in this series eventually?
I feel as though I'm still in a position where I need people to have bad luck. That was Liam's race, and then he had issues. Julian's had issues. Matthias Strauss has had issues. There's about 6 or 7 people who I generally think in a straight fight would probably beat me. And my goal at the start of the race is always, if I finish behind all of them, I'm happy.
Mm-hmm.
And then I will take what I can get. But I definitely think that I am getting to the point where I've been for a long time in the position where I can get myself into the positions and I can't necessarily convert them. And I definitely think today is a long way towards being able to convert the positions once I'm in them.
Well, big conversion today and almost a near win there at the end by the slimmest of margins. Literally an eye blink, an eyelash away from getting the win. I know you're going to be happy at this one. And I know you're going to be happy as the co-points leader going into Indianapolis, the biggest race of the season at the midway point. So you're in a good position to kind of take a stab at this championship. And it's been proven, through past IndyCar history that you don't need to get a win in order to win a championship. Although I know you would like to get a win. Sometimes the way the points add up, it doesn't really matter. As long as at the end of the day you have more points than everyone, you got the championship. So you're kind of putting yourself in that position. So shout outs, any friends, any family, sponsors you want to say hi to on this really big occasion, getting this podium here at Kentucky.
Yeah, if I were to shout out everyone in the community who deserved it, who has ever helped me in any way, shape, or form, they are just too many to name. So the only person I'm going to mention by name, it is Klendy, and I will tell you exactly why. About 6 months ago, I'm really, really struggling in officials at Phoenix. I had a number of things that I just didn't understand. So I went and I sounded off in the Discord server. Within an hour, Clendy was there saying, "Okay, mate, jump into practice. We'll see what we can do." He gave up that day about 3 hours of his time for someone who he didn't know from Adam. And I listened and I learned, and he taught me some lessons that at that stage in my development I really needed to be taught them. And I refocused, and everything since then has been based on that grounding that he gave me, and then the little bits and bobs that he's been adding along the way. Hello, young sir, if you're watching. You'd never thought you'd see me in IndyCars, huh? Yeah. I also hope that this is an example to people who are a bit further back in the field. You know, my goal for this season is just top fives if they're there, top tens if they're not, be the top privateer. I don't have a team working with me, and it's taken me to the points lead. I'm thinking very much of, I believe the IndyCar equivalent is Tom Snaver. As more of a Formula One fan, I always think of Keke Rosberg.
Yep, Tom Snaver, 1978 USAC national champion. Never won a single race. Actually, that particular season, Allenser Sr. won the Triple Crown. The only driver to ever do that in IndyCar history, and still wasn't enough to beat Tom's consistency. And then at the end of the season, it wasn't enough for Tom to even keep his drive at Penske. He got fired in favor of Rick Mears for the next season. I guess get fired by a future four-time Indy 500 winner is okay, but still, that is your example. Yeah, Tom Snaver, 1978 national champion, not a single win in the IndyCar series that year. So maybe you could do it. We'll see. But I'm pulling for you, and I know Clinty's pulling for you to get that win. We don't want to see you not get a win. We'd definitely like to see you get one or more as the season progresses.
Cheers, Gary, and thank you to you as well for everything that you and everyone else at P1 does for this community. It's a real reason why I've stuck around with it.
Well, it's good to have you here, and it's good to see you on the podium finally. Congratulations, P2 here at Legacy, Kentucky, and almost a win. A start of things to come, maybe, we shall see, but you're our points leader going into the next race. We'll catch you at Indianapolis.
Who'd have thought it?
Take care, buddy. All right, very happy P2. And let's bring up Edson Santos. Here he is. Hey, Edson. Sorry about the wait. We had a very happy Matty Sinclair who was on the podium there. We gave him a little time to talk. But now it's your turn, sir. A tale of two different halves of the week. You started off the week over on P1 in the votive series, coming to the checkered flag and kind of getting bumped out of the win a little bit. Today, not so much getting bumped out of the win here in the iconic DW12 cars in the VOR series, as you get the big win here at Legacy, Kentucky, in the last lap battle with two other drivers. Talk about that finish.
Hello, Gary. How are you?
Great.
Well, 2 races away, in a trip back. And I never could imagine that I could fight for the win here today, because I didn't practice nothing. And in this championship, I don't have the chance for the win in the season. But this is really cool to be here, to take part, have fun. I made a mistake in my qualifying, start way back. I think 12 or 13.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 13. At the beginning, I was trying just to gain some positions and save tires. And there was a yellow at the beginning. It made the race more like a saving race, an economy race. It was really interesting. I was trying to manage get the number of fuel that I wanted. But there was an incident in the PT entries, very slow car, and so my teammate Vitor Guilherme hit this guy, and this car returned for the track, and my friend Daniel Hash tried to avoid the accident, but I couldn't brake and hit him.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, I'd like to apologize. Yeah, I had a few problems here because in two moments in the beginning, simply I was stopping the the pit, but no fuel,
Hmm.
not putting fuel. So some problems, some bug. Um, but in the end, it was pretty cool to have the long stints. And with better tires, I had to reduce a gap for the leaders, something around the 2.5, 3 seconds, in order to fight for the win. There were three or four drivers in that moment there, and no one could open some advantage because the temperature was cold and the tires weren't wearing much. So it's pretty interesting this final and trying some slingshot. And with 2 laps to go, I decided to take the inside line and try to win there. It was luck, especially because in the last lap there was a car on the inside line at low speed. No fuel problem.
Hmm.
How dangerous it was! I almost hit him. But yes, I could keep the P1 at the end. It's pretty nice to be here again.
Well, it's good to have you. Any shout outs, friends, family, sponsors you want to say hi to on this big win? And we're going to Indy next, which we know you've done well there before.
Yeah, yeah, Indianapolis is pretty nice. So I'd like to send hi for my teammate Vitor Guilherme. Despite some problems he had in the race, he finished in P5. It's a good finish for him. And I say hello for my teammates in Brazil, in Energy, my family, my wife, my children, and that's it. We can be here again in the next race, and I hope to be here in the interview room again.
Well, I'm sure we will see more of you, but congratulations on the big win here today, as getting the win here in the last lap in a three-car duel. And you know how difficult that is with two cars, having that third car there, and then a car running out of fuel on the last lap. Wow, just made that even more exciting. So congratulations on the win, and we will catch you at the next race, sir, when we get to Indianapolis, place that you're a former winner at.
Thank you very much, Gary. We'll be there for sure.
See ya. Bye-bye. All right, that will do it for the VOR Iconic Series race today. Let's see, anything else that we need to talk about? Your biggest gainer of the day is Jesper Orman, up 14 spots. Also, Sinclair and Santos, they started right next to each other for the start of this race, and they followed each other right to the front, up 12 spots for each one of those guys. So good races for them. Once more, here is the schedule, and we will get on out of here. It's a little bit different when I don't get to pass it off to another person in the booth and let them talk while I cycle through this stuff. But there you go. Now we are now at the halfway point of the season. Next week, or in 2 weeks, actually, in Indianapolis, we get to round 6, and that starts the second half of the schedule. And they're already looking forward. The guys have said it. Edson, the former winner at Indianapolis. Patrick looking at Kansas. And, Matty just says, hey, man, I'm just looking for, top 10s and top 5s if they're available. And that is catapulting these guys to pretty good success here as we start the second half of the season. There is your schedule. The point situation, real quick before we read those off one more time, and we will then get on out of here. Patrick Salvazzi, now 26 starts here in the series with 13 top 10s and 13 top 5s and 20 top 10s. Edson Santos, 11 starts in the series, 2 wins. I thought he had more than that. But says only 2 wins here in the series for Edson Santos, 5 top 5s and 8 top 10s. and he is a former series champion. And Matty Sinclair, after 11 career starts, 4 top 5s and 7 top 10s. So showing that success that he was talking about as consistency is starting to add up. Point situation going into the next race at Indianapolis. As we bring up that standing screen, it is Matty and Patrick, your leaders, with 156 points. Only 4 points over Jesper Orman in second spot. Liam O'Sullivan is in third or fourth, depending on how you look at these standings. He is 7 behind the leader. Then Daniel Hesje, even though he fell 4 spots, he's only 12 behind the leader, so he's not out of this yet. Pim is in 6th. Julian is in 7th, tied with Strauss. Edson is inside the top 10, and Jonas Weber is in the final portion of the top 10 there. Only 61 out. That's a full race difference between himself and the leader, but if he gets some wins together, he can start crawling up into the middle portion of the top 10. Still a lot of racing to go. Still plenty of time to do it. And that is your point situation before we go to Indianapolis. And let's get on out of here for today. Once again, your podium for the Votive Derby, the Votive Indy Derby from Legacy Kentucky Speedway. Edson Santos getting another win here in the series. Matty Sinclair comes home for his best finish here ever in the series. Patrick Savazzi, another podium here in the series. And that promotes second and third to points leaders going into Indianapolis. Join Clinty and myself Friday, March 7th for round 6 of season 5 of the VOR ICONIC Series as the teams and drivers head to our biggest race of the season at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Coverage, as always, will start approximately at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Again, that's 4:00 p.m. Eastern. Remember, it's an all-new season. For the correct broadcast time in your area, you can find everything right here on YouTube at youtube.com and just search Velocity Online Racing. Now, as you know, the YouTube algorithm game's not easy, so please help support us with the weekly grind. Leave a comment below. Let us know you thought of tonight's race. And if you enjoyed today's coverage, support us by smashing like in the video. If you're new, click subscribe, and while you at it, hit the bell for weekly reminders so don't miss out more Velocity Online Racing's other iRacing programming, including tomorrow, their action from their IndyCar Championship Series from Montreal for round 5 of season 13. Don't miss it. Today's Kentucky race is brought to you by the Votive Racing League. If you're looking for some fun and competition to add to your Sunday nights, the Votive Racing League has you covered. Votive has their sights set on 2 goals: to build a strong community that just enjoys racing, and to be a melting pot of different skill levels and backgrounds. It doesn't matter if you're an IndyCar, stock car, F1, or sprint car fan, Votive wants to see you join, compete, hang out, and most importantly, have fun. If you want good, clean, close wheel-to-wheel racing, then look no further than the Votive Racing League. To learn more, join their Discord server. Hopefully a link is in the description. Hopefully there is one in chat. Check them out. The VOR ICONIC Series is brought to you by IFS Personal Financial Planning. IFS Personal Financial Planning specializes in helping their clients make the most of their savings with holistic financial planning and is tailored to the specific needs over the course of their lifetimes. On average, they've been working with their clients for over 20 years, helping them navigate the complexities of investments, the uncertainties of markets, and the ever-changing legislative landscape. To learn more, contact Alexander Bonney at alex@ifspfp.com. And hopefully you will find that link in this email or in this stream description so you can use it today. Track cams for this race are provided by Whiplash Sim Cams, and this was a brand spanking new set of cams they created for us just for this race. So we want to thank them. So get the most out of your iRacing experience with Whiplash Sim Cams. To learn more about Whiplash, like them on Facebook or follow them on X and Instagram. Links are in the description. For business inquiries to learn more about Velocity Online Racing, and to learn more about what they do, visit velocityonlineracing.com. Like them on Facebook or follow them on X. So for Clindy, you had to jump out early, everyone, at Velocity Online Racing. I'm Gary Godsoe, saying all happy Friday, and thanks for watching. And to all of our men and women serving in the military and as first responders, Godspeed, God bless, and come home safe. Catch us again right here March 7th in Indianapolis for the next race of the Velocity Online Racing ICONIC Series. We'll see ya.